Good afternoon from Crossness. We're back in the UK. Yeah, it's good to be home. Yeah, we got back from Rhodes on, was it Thursday, and today is Monday. It's my first chance to venture out. And yeah, there's some subtle changes going on. Came in from the main road and a buzzard was taken off from the tree line. The buzzards are really putting on a good show the last couple of months, hanging around in the trees in the middle of the reserve and by the road. And at least 3 kestrels are hovering, landing on trees, doing their hunting thing around the reserve. That's great to see. They've done really well, and it shows there's a lot of rodent activity around the reserve. Nothing of note on the reserve itself. I briefly saw white egret, a couple of grey herons. I'm hoping for any kind of red starts, wheat ears, wind chats. Stone chats, nothing there yet. The construction place isn't too noisy, so I thought that might allow some activity, but it's quiet. Anyway, got to the river, and yeah, there's some subtle changes on the river. Male teal with their cool headgear are starting to show up, and the redshank, which have been kind of confined further west down the river, they change positions over the course of the year. They're all starting to show up, hundreds of them now, on this side, on the right of the outflow. And I'm just practicing some flight stuff. We've got a common sandpiper, was off to the left, and he flew out. It's a bit distant, but I filmed it just to sort of practice my panning. And he went all the way out and came all the way back. And that's quite a smooth bit of footage, that. And I just tried to catch anything, a black-tailed godwit going past. What else was there? Some of obviously the redshank are moving around. Nothing, yeah, it's strange. You get here some days and there are no cormorants hunting in the water. So I don't know, they know what's being pumped out of the treatment plant and it's not edible, or they've had their fill in the morning, I don't know. But what else have we got? Yeah, shell duck going past. And yeah, a little surprise. Just looked down here by the reeds. Caught my eye, bird off to my right, flew into these reeds. Had to be a Chetty's warbler, and I managed to get some video. I kept my camera focused on the reed area, and eventually came out, managed a couple of the bits when he came out from the reeds. I got those bits sharp, and he was going back and forth, but I was losing some of the focus when he went back in, or she went back in. But I assume in a juvenile, just coming into adult plumage, because a bit scruffy around the head area. I did see a rat running around down here. Seems to be a lot more reeds down here than there normally are. So things are changing for winter. Anyway, yeah, we're just going to do like a weekly roundup, I think is best, because I don't think we're going to get enough in a 2 to 3 hour afternoon walk. We want to combine the whole week. This was always my plan, to do either a Crossness or a Bexley birds, to show all the birds in the borough, keep it interesting, get as many species as possible. Also, yeah, I'll just throw in, we generally always have gadwall. I think that was like the one wader, the first wader outside of mallards that I learned to identify. So I think we've had a bit of fun here. We're going to head home now. It was just a brief walk. We might go to Elmley tomorrow. Just had the peregrine falcon come overhead. I thought it was the kestrel. I almost ignored it, but I couldn't get a picture, but I got a bit of footage. It's on the factory in the distance. I thought it had grabbed a house martin that was flying over us. I saw a house martin that caught my eye. I think it was a house martin. And then that appeared, the peregrine, and then I looked up, I couldn't see anything else. Did it get it? And it flew back. And I watched it, and it didn't. It looked like it was still looking around. But the buzzard has been very, very active, the very dark morph buzzard. As soon as I came in, where did he take off from? Yeah, he was circling over the middle of the field here, and then he went right over my head, and I was fighting with some really dark clouds. I was up at 5,000 ISO, 1,000th of a second shutter speed, trying to keep the sensitivity as low as I could so that I wasn't dealing with loads of noise. Let's put them over this video and see how they come out. A little bit of video as well, although very, very dark. And just as I was coming back from the river, he appeared again she appeared again from behind a tree, and I snapped off a couple of pictures as it was like looking round at me. But maybe one day I'll get him right on a post in front of me. What else? On the river, I have seen the kingfisher floating around, but he landed on the back where the view screen is. But they see you from, they're very, very jumpy here. You can't get anywhere near them. I had some reeds in front of it and I tried to slightly move to the left where there was a bit more of a clear shot. Gone. Went up to the outflow. There are lots of redshank now. Black-tailed godwits. Shell ducks, common shell ducks. I've seen a little grebe back here, but too quick when under the water has gone. There's too many reeds in the way to find where it comes up. Once it sort of sees you and knows where you are, it goes under, shoots across somewhere and it's gone. So just a bit of a tangent here. Because my vlogs have been a bit displaced with me going to Margate, me going to Elmley, there's bits of footage that I don't want to waste from, let's just not say local, let's say everywhere. I actually went down to Worthing for a family get together and we just had a quick walk on the beach and got some ruddy turnstone on a dock covered in all sorts of seaweed and algae and feeding on that. Back at a couple of localish woods, Shrewsbury Park on the top of Shooters Hill, there were robins, great tits, some really nice footage of a Eurasian jay working at an acorn. Is it an acorn? Then round to my other local wood, Martin's Grove, where I had some great views of a great spotted woodpecker. It landed on this dead branch, was calling, so it immediately alerted me to where it was, and I filmed that for a little while. It looked like it was playing hide and seek with me. It was fantastic. It was going behind and background, behind and background. I don't know if it's, I'm sure, I always say that about birds, I'm sure they've seen you, but they get dog walkers and all sorts of stuff, so I'm sure they're a little less jumpy than other places. Also, Martin's Grove is a really good spot for stock doves. They were on a dead tree, so I filmed a little bit of that. And there is a family. I think there's a nest wedged away inside some trees and bushes, on a dead tree. And I've been trying to film it, but the last couple of times the sun has been hitting it halfway, so it's like half in the shadow and half harsh sunlight, and the footage will be awful. So I'll get some next time. And also, as you can see from that footage, they were quite grotty looking from the rain. They were sort of drying off. And then as I went back to my cab, very bad footage, but a sparrowhawk, a local sparrowhawk that hunts in the houses and the gardens, flew overhead. And I think everyone saw me jump out of my cab with this big lens, and you can see everyone grinning like, what's he up to? So like I said, when it comes to all these little bits of great footage, I don't want to waste them. So they'll go into a little roundup of stormcab birds trips around wherever. If it's purely a Bexley one or a Crossness one, or I've been a bit of everywhere collecting footage, but it didn't warrant making a vlog specifically for that area or for a particular bird. But it's got to go into something, and I don't want to waste the footage. It gets stuck on my hard drive doing nothing, and it's good to see it, especially when it's something being eaten or fighting or preening or scratching or whatever, doing some sort of unique bird behavior. So I'll probably add another week's worth of stuff to this to make it around 20 minutes. Just a little walk in my local wood, Martin's Grove, and I've not got much time. This is the place to come. It's very busy, lots of action. The parakeets are completely out calling everything else. You can hardly hear a thing. But did momentarily have a jay on the ground. Obviously all the acorns have dropped down, so there's going to be a lot of action. Great tits. Yeah, I can see him. Robins on the ground. I heard a little rustle in the leaves and it was there. I tried to do that low down. It's really dark at the moment. It's getting into winter and I'm starting to feel this F number, this F9 on this lens. So I'll put where are we now? I've got to look at it on the map. The eastern section. And I definitely saw a goldcrest and definitely I think I heard a firecrest. I'm sure I can tell the difference now. I'm sure there's a little song you can do to learn each one. So anyway, I can't obviously say, I think that's goldcrest, isn't it? I'm going to stand here and see if it comes out because this is a bit brighter. I might be able to manage this. Anyway, locally, you might have seen the footage. I can't say where, obviously, schedule one, and we don't want to disturb them if it comes back. Barn owl. I was walking back to my cab, about 10 past 6. I looked at the timestamp, and bird took off and flushed. I knew immediately what it was, slightly yellow, not white, and the way it was flying, I knew it was a barn owl. And I was actually just finishing up a blog and I just dropped my selfie stick with the phone, Bosch, and got some photos and some video. And photos obviously unusable, so I stayed on videos because at 10 past 6, it was nearly sunset. And I saw it fly behind some bushes. So I followed it round with my tripod fully open so I could get ready for video. And crept round, and I saw it through some reeds on a post. And I did that thing where I have this sort of instinct that they're looking for predators, forward facing eyes. So when I'm looking for birds, I'm kind of doing this and like trying not to show my eyes and squint and stuff like that. So I did that and I really slowly until it was on my tripod. And I think I got like 10-15 seconds of footage. And it flew around for a little while. I'll show you some of that footage. Obviously I have to cut some of it so it doesn't give away the position. What an absolute, and that was the day after that. I went to Elmley and saw barn owls again, barn owls twice in 2 days. So happy bunny as a really good way to round off. There's like I said, so far it's something in Worthing, something locally. Maybe I'll throw a bit of unused Elmley footage just to sort of do a roundup because there's a lot of good stuff that I haven't used. Got one. They were two very vocal ones just here. And there was a lot, I can still hear them. I literally was waiting for 5 more minutes to get back to you. They were quiet, and now I can hear them buzzing over there. But I got off I stayed down at 1/50th of a second and 4000 ISO just to try and keep as low as possible. And 20 shots, one was sharpish. I can hear another one. I'm going to look for it now. I won't bother with pictures now, but it's interesting to hear the little calls. Like that robin was right there. One of the Goldcrest flew from there to this tree. I thought, okay, how's the other one going to see that? And then I heard the pitch of this Goldcrest change to that, and then this came out of the bush and flew over. So you kind of learn the little calls.